ultimately, I try to avoid the dishes at any cost.
Doing dishes is
it will make a
tough.
mess. If I'm there, like washing my hands and just pushing the dishes to the side until they're cleaned by the mice that come through on the counters from above the floorboards. Because the kitchen area in this house is an add-on, and it's added on in the most landlordy possible way, which is bare minimum integrity.
Hey Ryan, what's your size? What's your size? Are you a five and a half?
Fuck you. I'm a men's 7.
Abnormally long toes.
They're beautiful.
I don't want this anymore.
Oh my God, I am fully torn.
What else can I get for you?
Viewer, there's toes on the screen right now. Lee's pulling up stock photos of women's feet for us to.
That's some solid stuff right there. That's good stuff.
What else can I get for you? See, it knows I have children, so it keeps recommending baby things.
What have you been? You've been ordering sundresses?
They know.
Yeah, Amazon knows
Amazon knows I cohabitate with a woman and that I have a child. So it's recommending all of these things to me because what do you think I use? Like the person who uses Amazon the most is a woman with a baby. Mm-hmm. It's literally like that's the reason why Amazon's a huge company. That
and the drug-like fixation that happens from consuming. We are all consumers.
Oh yeah, I'm getting dopamine hits on everything I'm looking at right now.
Yeah,
everything.
The color sensation is.
How about I get you a subscription to Southern Living?
Southern Living magazine. Limited time deal. It's only $7 per issue. Are you kidding me? I lose money not ordering that.
Not doing that. I don't know. I feel like you're missing out on some really good information.
Do you read a magazine ever?
That would require me to read first, and that's a tough ask.
I used to like it when I was younger, and I'd be going to an airport for the first time, and you'd be in the terminal walking through the concourse, and you see the newsstand of whatever city name you're in. Then you see like the shirts with whatever city you're in. It's like a sailboat on a gray sweatshirt, and it says Jacksonville, Florida, with beach or something silly, and it's a weird print. And then you have all those magazines, and it's like, well, I'm going to be on an airplane, so I need to have a magazine. And you try to like ask your parents to buy you a magazine, and they say, "Oh, well, we'll get you one in the next stop." And you just realize that they just don't want to spend $6.95 because it's 2002, and that's a lot of money.
That's how much a magazine costs nowadays. That's why I don't buy them. They're like $8.50. And then you just throw it out after the flight.
Yeah, well, I mean, what are you going to do? Read the advertisements? That's most of the print in there. It's just advertisements. It's like every 17 pages there's an article.
Yeah, what am I paying the money for even?
Yeah, there's an article that you will eventually find out there's like misinformation, incorrect on the.
I feel like a savvy traveler will just stand in that little what do they call it, like Newport News type of places. Just read the whole thing, the whole magazine that has your interest. Before you board the plane.
You got a 2-hour layover. You can sit at the crowded gate. Listener, I remembered from the weekend, one of the worst concourses in the Atlanta airport is D. Because D is the one that's very narrow. It has the it's got good food. It's got the Five Guys.
There's Five Guys in there?
It's got
nothing like having a fucking bag of greasy fries before you get on a 4-hour flight somewhere.
I look at people and the things that they eat while I'm waiting at the gate and thinking, oh man, you're going to jump into a can with 200 other people that's going to go 30,000 feet in the air, and there's going to be massive pressure on all of your bodily organs, and you're going to put in the most diarrheal.
The land, air, and sea from McDonald's. Do you know the land, air, and sea?
Yeah. Oh, yes, I do. Yeah, I'm an American too. I know that one.
But just real quick for the listener, the land, air, and sea is a chicken, burger, and fish sandwich all in one that McDonald's has put out there for us to consume.
Menu hacks.
But anyway, please.
That's what it is. I saw it some McDonald's I was at. It was in a nicer part of town, and they had the nice new flyering on the window, and it was all these like silly fonts with cool graphics, and it was like, check out this wacky hip foodie angle that we're pulling on the menu. Do whatever you want. Put together a bun and then a chicken fillet, and then put egg on top of that. And if you want a burger, go ahead and spice it up with our secret sauce. And so it was like, do whatever you want. Like those really cool guys that do like first tastings on YouTube. People love that stuff. Also, creepy behavior. Again, this is not a throw and shade podcast, but the people eating on camera thing has always baffled me that other people would tune into that. But I guess any type of orifice stuffing would be something that people like to get involved in.
It's the same type of person who watches the shows about the women who are 3,000 pounds, you know, like I'm a ton and a half. You know, my sister is 600 pounds and we're together 4,000 pounds. Why would you watch that? I don't understand.
Then there's like, and
you watch them eat.
We're not kink shaming. We're talking it out. You know, conflicted understanding.
Any type of shaming.
No.
Body shaming.
Definitely
kink
not.
Shaming.
We some freaks. We some quirked up white boys, goated with an open mind.
That's what's up.
But there's those like OnlyFans too, where it's like watch this chick eat an entire pizza and then down a couple 2 liters. With the breadsticks full side, like going after it, like yo, I would do something like that. You know, from a long day of podcasting and editing, needing to get my calorie intake up, right? Of course.
Was it you who said a few episodes ago, like those type of things either signal the beginning of a great society or the actual end of the society? Was that
yes? Historians will look back at this and see it as, well, this could be a high point or a low point, and it would be a hinge point out through the history books of how civilizations rise and fall. And to notice those little details, it puts into perspective. Sure, we can debate. I guess none of us really have any of the answers. But historians can look back with a different lens, and that lens will show them that there was communities out there, thousands, hundreds of thousands of humans tuning in to watch like a consumption race, a sexualizing of a gourmand figure, and perhaps getting off on it. But to have the luxury to do that puts us in a strange point in history.
There's this chick on YouTube. And she's not fat. She's actually very fit. She's like a professional eater.
Which most of like the champion eaters are, you wouldn't really call them fat, right?
I'm going to give a shout out here to Katina Eats Kilos, where she eats like look at this pizza, dude.
Oh, hell yeah. We're pulling up a video of a professional eater that's got looks like a lot of videos on her YouTube. This pizza
she's not a huge girl either. She eats this pizza. It's like if you were to take the length of it, it's from her head to her midsection, at least. I remember watching this girl eat against another guy, like something really similar to this, like just a normal, like a guy friend that she has, and she was eating. Like at the end of it, it looked like this guy had more food on his plate than when he started, and she had ate like 4 kilos of pizza, like 8 pounds of pizza. It's so gross to me. For me, it's very disgusting. It's hard for me to watch. But for so many people in this country, it is so darn interesting. I want to just say how many followers she has. her channel is huge. She has 370,000 subscribers. 100, 200,000 people watch every video she puts out.
I'm going to go out on a wing. A lot of our viewers are going to be guys with tummy aches pretty often. So they too are not going to necessarily be fans of this stuff. If you're a fellow tummy ache comrade out there, you're somebody that I work with, and we're in the trenches, and we're handing each other back and forth nips of Pepto-Bismol because we're just guys with tummy aches. It's a real thing. People want to ignore that. We got sensitive tummies. Something like this, no, because I
should start a club. Men with tummy aches.
I could see that's what that new emoji is. People think it's a pregnant man. No, it's just a guy with an upset tummy. The emoji's in the phone now, which is the newest Apple update. I can't remember. I feel like I was looking for it months ago, but now it's there again. It's the 3 different genders with tummies that look like they're holding a pregnant belly.
Dude, what are you even talking about right now?
Yeah. Our viewers, I'm just going to guess a lot of them are not going to necessarily be watching this stuff either, but it's fascinating. I see a pizza like that. And to describe the pizza, it was something like a stuffed pizza. It had like a fold over around the edges. And then
it's like 2 pizzas stacked on each other and baked together.
Like a double decker style. So it was beefy and cheesy in all the right places for a couple slices, and then a couple more, and then like later that night a couple more. But you're not eating the whole thing at once. If you're listening to this show, most likely you're gonna you would maybe accept a challenge to try to get something free. Some of our more alpha viewers, but if you're just a normal Sigma tummy ache kind of guy or girl out there listening to us, you're thinking, this is pretty wild. But I also look at it and think, there's going to have to be maybe a fetishizing, sexualizing, and arousal point that the viewers, they appreciate the work that it takes, because the YouTubers clearly working hard to do this, right? I mean, there's some work.
I have far more respect for her than a woman who sells farts in a jar. Because one thing takes it's really hard to eat that much food. You have to train your body to be able to do that. And that does take discipline and sacrifice, without question.
Some people are born with stronger stomachs.
Yeah, it's all mental. She also has a genetic gift, like most people can't do what she does. It's something going on in her insides that allow her to do this crazy ass shit. And that's probably what comes out of her at the end of it. The thing is that women who are what we'd call thoughts, those are usually women that don't have any talent per se, haven't put in any work or dedicated themselves to a craft other than hoism. So that's why I think, even though I'm disgusted by the professional eater, I think I give her a lot more credit as a content producer, because she actually has to go out there and put on her game face and do something that's really hard.
She's not just throwing on her Lululemon spandex and doing some squats in front of a mirror. She's putting on her Lululemon and giving a performance of consumption that's not direct sexualizing. So a level of clever.
I don't think there's much. I guess there must be some sexualization.
I think it has to. I think that's exactly how this has to work, because it's got to be one of those things that, it's just unacknowledged or acknowledged. But again, we're not kink shaming. Let them be free to watch someone do something awful to their tummies.
Let's talk NFL. Let's talk football. Let's talk sports ball. We haven't talked a lot of sports on this podcast.
We are a sports podcast. Yes. We don't do, the only thing, we really stay away from is politics. Politics is
fucking boring.
Politics is a different business. That's why I call it politics.
No juice.
Zero juice score.
Bad people are in it. We don't want to give a voice to that. We don't want to provide a platform to politicians. We don't want to sponsor any of that. Yes, 45 will always have an open mic on the show. Absolutely.
He could come, and if he's like, listen, I want your podcast.
Well, we do.
He could have it.
Prima nocta.
I guess cat's out of the bag a little bit here. This summer, we do have a Mar-a-Lago visit on the calendar. Look forward to that. End of summer 2022 in Mar-a-Lago.
Is it a brunch? Is it a brunch we're invited to?
We got some big things on the calendar. Can't go into any more detail.
I think it's a cornhole game and some brunch at Mar-a-Lago.
Cornhole, folks. For some of you that may have, some of our older listeners might not know what cornhole is. I found this out.
Some of our international listeners would have no idea what cornhole is.
Yeah. Cornhole. It's a board. It's a board. It's a bag. It's a bag. It's a team on one end, a team on the other end. You're chucking bean bags. Remember hacky sacks? You're chucking them, trying to get it into a hole in the board. There's a hole in a board and a board on the ground, and the dude by a board, and the beers flow around and around, and ding, 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 ding. Cornhole.
and that's the sound of the music in your head when you're playing the game.
So some of the greatest pastimes.
You know, they put cornhole on ESPN. Like it's on a major sports cable network.
Sick.
Like at some random hours. I think they play more cornhole than they do hockey on ESPN.
yeah. Maybe because
certainly more than soccer.
Well, so again, listener, if you're not familiar, that's what's going on. Give it a Google search. Check it out. It's a fun game. I've always been more of a spectator on it because it's like, well, I'm at a party. I'm trying to drink. I'm not trying to look like a fucking loser. But also, again, Sigma mindset, you're not going to put yourself into a position to lose in a game of sport because just that's not what winners do. You think about winning every moment. Don't put yourself into a position.
But why would you waste time playing cornhole when you could be talking to girls and potential business partners?
If you're not,
or a combination of both.
If you're not making an effort, then your ding-a-ling will not be touched.
I've always thought I am a Sigma male. So when we talk about these things, it's actually very close and personal to me. So I'm able to share the things that I would think at that moment, why I wouldn't play cornhole. And I'm able to really understand, get into that mindset and know why I wouldn't, because there's people to talk to that might make me money or that might I could be in a relationship with.
Yeah, I relate to it as well as hearing about the Sigma male has always made more sense to me because yes, I was a sports player in high school. And yes, because of a steady diet of gas station food and fast food from the early ages of being a child all the way through my adulthood, I had a lot of the unnatural hormone content in the corn slurry fried congealed goop that I would consume. So I did have an early puberty that was onset around the age of 9 years old, and I was much taller than the rest of the class. And so it put me into a bit of an alpha position, but I was a gentle giant always, and then quickly was outpaced by everyone else that didn't have a grandparents that were 4'11". Genealogically,
and that they ate proper like human food.
You know, they don't look like 38 while coming out of junior year of high school. They're not just covered in hair. Listener, you could probably relate to this because you were probably in a similar category. You were in that position as a high schooler or a middle schooler. But I feel you. The Sigma it
relates to us, right?
Yeah, it's something that we can speak from. And honestly, this show is a platform for that. So listener, go ahead and reach out to us with your Sigma stories. Give the hashtag Sigma Stories on all the juice boards out there. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook.
Truth.
We are now, drum roll please, have a profile. Truth Social. far superior platform, folks. This is the platform that's going to give us the freedom to speech. We need a voice. We're going to get it out there. We don't want to be censored. Big tech, middle fingers up to you. You will not have control over the fluidity and the filth here. We need to say what we need to say. We're not going to be shadow banned. We're not going to be pressed under the heavy thumb. Zuckerberg working for Nancy Pelosi somewhere in liberal shitty San Francisco region of failing California. We are transcending above it. We have access to some of the latest and greatest tech that is designed by patriots. A lot of our viewers, patriots out there doing just what's right. Also, YouTube clips coming up by the container ship full, folks. We got so much content. We're brimming with it. The staff and the media department,
I'm excited.
It's overwhelmed putting together all of.
I'm excited to see what they've been doing back there. I mean, we've been generating we've been doing this for 6 weeks, and we've already done about 47 hours of content. And I'm excited to see what they have back there, because you're only getting a sneak peek.
You ever hear someone say like 25 going on 30 or 20, 21 going on 41. We are 6 months going on 6 years is what it feels like, from a quality and a quantity, both quality and quantity. Having all of that together, it's like, but it's also still a lot of fun. So it feels like maybe it's been like closer to 6 weeks. Still having a lot of fun. No shortage at all. Content, magic, followers, shout outs. A lot of celebrities wanting to get on the show. A lot of radio, production crews turning to us and some of our collaborators about what's hot right now, about what's trending in audio video.
So right now, we're going to change gears a little bit. We're going to talk National Football League. All right. We're going to see how we're going to see how this goes. All right. We don't have to talk about sports on this show, but I feel like it would give us an added wrinkle because it is something that we both know a lot about. I know you had made some fan art recently for the Jaguars.
Yes.
We're going to definitely get to that. So we're going to talk NFL because we just had the NFL draft. See how this goes. Again, this may not be a reoccurring thing here, but we're not. Let's be real. We're not comedians, so we're not professional laugh a minute guys. So we want to make sure we can talk about things that are really interesting. And football is perpetually interesting.
Yeah, but, if I may,
yes, please. I know you want to jump in there.
This is not a laughing matter, so we're serious when we need to be, and that's again what my co-mic is bringing up. It's a serious topic. The NFL is a serious business. Love it or hate it, support it or not. Some of our viewers may have banned viewing the NFL in their own house and home a long time ago, and that's fine. That's okay. But what's happening in the NFL is kind of a part of what's happening to this country. Also, for a lot of our fans, you're going to find yourself watching the NFL on Sunday, and we want to be right there, just a foot or two ahead of the conversation, like we are with a lot of topics. Most topics.
And we want to be touching on all different verticals. So whether it's sports, entertainment, fashion, current events, pop culture, we want to be on the forefront of everything.
And frankly, we are. It's something that our competitors have been nipping at our heels in an attempt to catch up. But we're there. We're occupying that space, and we want to bring our gift to thought leaders, scene leaders, moment leaders, and we want to disperse it because we're about that distribution of the good stuff. The draft is in its second, like it goes 2 weekends or something.
No, the draft is done, Ryan. We can cut that. It's okay. You don't have to know that.
Definitely going to leave that in.
It goes, I think it's 3 days now. And hey, for all the ladies out there listening, we're not going to get too deep. So if you want to listen here in and just get some tips on how to talk to your man about football, this is a good opportunity to learn a little bit, just by the way. We're not going to mansplain. We're going to say it how it is.
Absolutely
but you can take one of these quips and use them. We're going to have a lot of good quips. We're going to have a lot of good hot takes. You can take these. Feel free to put them on your Twitter. Make sure your man knows that you're up in the most recent NFL news.
Yes.
So Cardinals, I don't know shit about the Cardinals other than Kyler Murray. So, I mean, and I don't think we're very hot in the Phoenix market right now. So fuck them. Falcons, your neck of the woods.
Yes.
Getting some good scores here in the early round. No, they took that quarterback out of Cincinnati, Desmond Riddler. Apparently he's a midget at 6 foot.
Wow.
I don't know if you've heard of that. If you're in the NFL, you're playing quarterback and you're not 6'10", you're a midget.
Yeah. Someone should really tell that guy to change his position in life.
But these are guys, I don't know. I don't really follow Atlanta that closely.
Grade B+ on everyone's third favorite Atlanta sports team. The thing about the thing about Atlanta, as a lifelong Atlantean since 2020, nobody here really likes the Falcons. You got the Hawks doing good things recently in the NBA. You got some superstars on that squad. It feels kind of like an NBA town. And then you also have this baseball team that I guess is better because they won the World Series. And
the Braves are like anyone who grew up in the South.
Yeah.
That's not Florida. The Braves are the team.
They got to be up there on merch sale too. They got to be. Like, you see a lot of Braves gear.
The Braves won't let any other team move in anywhere south of the Mason-Dixon line. After Maryland, there's nothing. Virginia, Carolinas, Tennessee, Kentucky, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. Every single state in that region, in the Southeast, has to be Atlanta fans for Major League Baseball.
For our cryptography fans out there, you're probably thinking in your head the area that we're talking about. Maybe think about the triangle between Georgia, Kentucky, and Virginia. It's a strange area. It has a lot of geographical divide with being a part of the southern tip of the Appalachia mountain range. Basically like flatland to some legit elevation. If you're traveling from the south northward, you're going from completely lowland to the highlands of the east, mid-south, mid-Atlantic. And it's a strange area. There's a lot of beauty around it. There's so much possibility because there's some cool towns and some pretty cool like mountainous type vibe towns. But it's so much further to travel to. Like, if you're just going to hop in your car, like maybe you needed to go to like Charleston, West Virginia, then you wouldn't really have a direct route because it's so sparsely populated. This area, what I'm getting at, this area would be a fantastic area to implement a high-speed rail triangle. And I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you, viewer, and Elon Musk fanboys, to throw it in his comments. Get that Hyperloop and get it going underneath the whole Appalachian, because there's no land. No one owns this land. It's formerly hillbilly property.
And if you're drilling under it, no one's gonna know.
No one knows. No one cares. It's just a forest. It's just an undisturbed forest, or it's some bumpkin farmland. It's not important. We can annex, we can take it over, and we can get people so we can move back and forth across these cool places. Because I've always wanted to go to Asheville. I heard it's pretty cool. We got a lot of listeners in Asheville. Shout out to the Carolinas. Got a lot in Charleston, specifically. Shout out King Street, downtown Charleston, former stomping ground. As a former DJ and club goer myself, a lot of big clubs there, a lot of cool places, some really dope men's fashion you see up and down the old King Street.
Okay, the Baltimore Ravens had like 14 picks this year.
Solid.
Did anyone draft in round 4? What did they do to acquire this many draft picks?
This actually looks like my fantasy board. This is what I would do. Fantasy football. Former fantasy football greats, Lee and Ryan, do have a lot of strong advice for anyone out there looking at their 2022, 2023 fantasy teams, because that's going to come up soon. And we'll be covering a lot of fantasy angles on the show for our listeners, getting out that good.
I think it would be like
picks.
like some paid content there,
Yeah.
like Lee and Ryan
Yeah.
top picks. Or you don't want to just give that stuff out for free, you know?
No, I mean,
People will use that to
shouldn't-
make money.
We shouldn't just give away everything just because it's important. The distribution stays in the right calibration.
So Buffalo Bills, good team, need good wide receivers for that
Yeah.
amazing quarterback they have, Jake Allen. Khalil Shakir, that guy just sounds like he's fast. I don't even
Mhm.
know anything about him. Khalil Shakir sounds
Mhm.
like he's the best slot receiver in the NFL.
And
He just got drafted.
Yeah. The Bills did hot things last season.
Yeah, the
Last couple
Bills.
seasons?
Bills went to the divisional round against the Chiefs. Probably the best
Yeah.
football game I ever saw. Bills versus Chiefs last year.
Yeah.
If anyone's listening to this and doesn't know much about football or doesn't know that game, go on YouTube, watch the highlights for 10 minutes. Chiefs, Bills last year. It went like double overtime. It
Oh, I
was
saw
a
it.
craise game. It was a crazy game.
I got home and
It's one of the craziest games I saw in my whole life.
I turned on the TV like right as it was like final drive.
The defenses, they just stopped playing or just decided that they couldn't keep up with the pace that those quarterbacks were playing on. It was like watching in college football and like you have these conferences like the Pac-10 or like certain teams out west or in Texas that they don't really play defense. You know, like every score is 63-50. It's like Oregon and Utah or something where they just play offense the whole time.
Much more exciting for the viewer. The traditionalists will approve of a game like that, knowing that defenses are, a weak man's game, a beta man's game.
Panthers, who cares? Irrelevant. Bears, who cares? Like, I don't know. Certainly not me.
Bengal Cats,
Bengals.
former
Super Bowl
Big Cat clubs. Shout out to all the Big Cat clubs. Yeah, they did good last season. They had a run. People were hoping for the best there.
Browns, who cares? Dallas Cowboys,
America's
like
team.
they're the Atlanta Braves of
Yeah.
football.
Yeah.
Be real. They take tackle, defensive end. Exciting, I guess.
It looks
prospects.
like out of their first 6 picks, they took 7 offensive tackles. Jerry Jones is a fundamentals kind of guy.
Yeah,
He loves
I like
nothing
them
more
big.
and
I
white.
want to put them on the line and just smash them against each other.
It's a good big white guy. Is what Jerry Jones is
Yeah.
really needing.
Just
It's
put them there and just smash them.
The older he gets, the more he should be in charge of so many successful years as a Dallas Cowboys, operator.
Dude,
So much success
Just a
from the Dallas
comment.
Cowboys.
edge. So this position they call edge.
Interesting.
This used to be defensive end, right?
Okay.
Like we call forever, all my life, I was like, you play defensive tackle or you play defensive end.
Interesting.
I don't know if that's interesting. I don't know. Did you know that?
I did not know that. I would
They
have
call
no
it edge
idea.
now.
I'd have to Google it.
Yeah, they used to call it defensive end, DE. That was defensive end. Guys who lined up on the tackles or on the tight end.
Listener, we're looking at the sheet. It's literally spelled out EDGE, edge, in a place that next to the name that traditionally you would just see DE.
The Lions took like 5 edge guys. Just, hey, if the quarterback doesn't have time to throw if you just rush with everyone on the edge, maybe that's the secret to success for the Lions.
Keeping the opponent's offense off the field, wear out the defense, big brain strategies.
The Packers did a bunch of defense. Not a lot of exciting guys in this draft, like edge guys and cornerbacks. You take a cornerback number 3 in the draft.
Yeah, something about this graduating class of seniors, collegiate wide, just mostly like on the line. Not as much of the skill guys.
No, really. Like, how good is a cornerback? Listen, the game is so pass heavy.
Yeah.
The quarterbacks are so good. You just don't see shutdown corners like you used to. I know they exist, but I don't really. You used to have these cornerbacks that just, I can't throw over there. This guy would to.
Yeah, corners, CB, cornerbacks to distinguish that over the mics in case you're listening and wondering what we're saying. Cornerbacks. That's Houston Texans.
First round, the Texans drafting a cornerback.
First round
cornerback number 3.
Pretty interesting. I think that's a good position for focusing on. Yeah, because if you don't have it, and also there's a psychological edge there too. Every time that I notice the Jaguars picking up like on a good defensive streak, it's their cornerbacks were performing. All their good teams, they always had good cornerbacks, and you get the crowd behind the cornerbacks, you get the commentary, and then it gets in the head of the receiver. So it becomes, and this is the arena where alpha is going to prevail. Like there's going to be some positions for the sigma, but the alpha will prevail on the gridiron. We cannot tinker with the system too technically. So getting in the mind of your opponent, sigma.
So here I am focused on the Jags now. Ryan's team.
Here we go, folks.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Our Jacksonville fans will know that'll put them in the mindset of being at Alltel Stadium, probably something else now, but being right there.
There's no way Alltel is still in business. There's no way.
Let me go on. Sitting right there at 50-yard line in the big cat growl over the speakers. Everyone knows what that is. Doing a quick Wikipedia on Alltel Stadium. Defunct.
They're not a company anymore.
Defunct. 2016. I love that term.
Defunct.
We're going to put that title next to all of our haters and our competitors.
Do you see this guy's draft grade for the Jaguars?
Woo, folks. Things continue to be a upward climb. And we all know it's not about the finish line. It's about the journey. Jaguars are going to have a steady journey in front of their faces. But again, here we see number 1. We're going to see that number 1 pick. And that's that edge position.
Ryan, can you share your fan art at this time?
Un momento, por favor.
Jaguars, D+ for the Jaguars in this draft. You got to think, how much longer are they going to be in Jacksonville? I feel like they're just one of those teams that just not going to stay in that city much longer. There's no other teams there, honestly. Back in the day when they had the first football, like in the 20s and 30s, that's why Green Bay exists, because Green Bay is like, no one actually lives there. There's like 40,000 people live in Green Bay. It's just the public owns the team. This like kind of the state's team. Yeah. So that's the only reason why they're still there. But there were football teams in places like Decatur, Illinois, or like Dayton, Ohio. Places that were just destined to collapse. And I feel like the Jaguars are just one of those teams, one of those places.
It's a football region. North Florida, you're sandwiched right in between universities that love their football.
Go State.
Lee's got his gear on, and if you're not liking football, you're ostracized. You're not a part of the big culture. But here we go, sharing on my screen now, just some fan art I put together. There was like some sports site putting out an image. It was jungle themed with the two top back-to-back top drafts from last year and this year. We got our quarterback. It's the blonde guy, number 16. And then Trayvon Walker, the newest, number 44, position edge. That same day, earlier that day, I saw a beautiful picture of a Jaguar with a big old tummy hanging out in a tree, and I superimposed right on top, did some editing, cut out the Jaguars that they put in the photo, and then placed it right in between. Let's face it, we might make this the image art. We'll share this. We'll share this on some other streams so you as a listener can see what we're talking about. But this team would go so hard. Look at that big boy. Look at him. Look at how powerful he looks. Not to mention just letting his junk hang free in the wind. We've all been there after a big meal. A little too tummy stuffed.
I feel like this photo is in memorandum.
Yeah, it kind of has that effect too.
In memorial, like a memorial. Like these guys both died in a tragic train crash or something. Yeah. And it just says in memory of. Yeah, they also had in tow a live Jaguar in their truck or something. And they all died. Yeah. Something. It just says Trevor and whatever the Tiger's name, whatever the Jaguar's name is. Trevon, Trevor Lawrence. What's the cat's name? Trelor. I don't know. The cat's got a name, probably. He's a beautiful boy. So this team right here, everyone's going to love it. The Jaguars are going to get their much needed boost of merch. And I know a guy in Jacksonville that I went to high school with that does fashion, and he's done a lot of fashion with the team, with the local Jags. This would look great on a shirt. This would look great on a shirt. Here's the problem, though. The last time I was in town, somebody told me that he was after me because I was spreading rumors about being trying to take credit for his business. Funny to think about, because I would do that, and I had to stop to think, did I try to spread that rumor? Was I trying to impress a girl some night at a bar and try to take credit for a company that definitely wasn't mine? Have I done spoofs and goofs in the past that have wound me up in some trouble? Yes, but that was not me. So just to clear my name, completely and totally exonerated, fronted as the creator or lead designer in a Jacksonville Beach-based fashion design company. No shade again. Just that puts that rumor to bed. Nothing but love to the individual and the company. And to you should sell him this design to put on shirts. I'm gonna give it. It's a winner. I'm gonna give it away because I'm already got so many streams in, and for me, this is a passion. This is what I'm good at, and I've already made a lot of money doing. I've already had that success point. So this would be my gift back to the people of Jacksonville. My gift back to the fans, the loyal fans of not only the show, a lot of people know about the show, but there's an NFL team called the Jaguars, and that's what we're discussing now. If anyone of our international fans is listening here, whether our fans in the Middle East, in Africa, in Europe, in Latin America, if you want to get into football, American football, because it works the other. I hear this a lot living in the States. It works the other way where a couple guys will go to England and they'll meet a guy at the pub who kind of tells them, hey, you should root for Liverpool now. And then they become Liverpool fans or something like this. Yeah. Liverpool is a football club in the Premier League. I think it works also the opposite. So any of our international listeners looking to get into American football, obviously we're going to do some live streams of football games this year. And we're going to explain a lot about the game. But in addition, if you're looking for a team to pick, if you're looking for a team to root for, the Jaguars should definitely be that selection. Absolutely. Should definitely be that selection. Did you also do this? This is their photo. This is the one I took.
This is the one.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the someone was paid to do. This is this this is
If you're not watching this on YouTube, I'm sorry, but this is an awesome
we'll try to
visual.
We'll try to put this visual up. Okay, so now we got
it's very similar to what Ryan did, but Ryan I think improved it significantly.
The original of the Trevor and Trayvon in the jungle with 4 jaguars in the photo, actual animals, and they've changed the eye color to teal, but they are real cats. One in a tree in the background, and then one or two in the foreground, with one at similar level in the background, kind of positioned symmetrically on the sides and in between. So you have the whole thing going on, the whole image. But these jaguars, they don't have the fierce tummy that the one that I found online. I literally, like the same day, earlier that day, just found this beautiful boy who had clearly just consumed possibly like an alligator or a capybara or something, whatever in the central South American habitat that this apex predator would be roaming upon. And it's in a tree. It's just hanging out. Just a beautiful image. Like no predator stance to this boy, just a leisure chill. Because cats can climb trees, including the big ones.
That's kind of how you look when you're at the Jacksonville Stadium. When it's like I don't know, early season, early September. It's 97 degrees out.
Yeah,
98% humidity. You just had a land, air, and sea from the McDonald's in formerly Alltel Stadium.
Yeah,
and you're watching the team get beat by 28 points in the third quarter.
You're in the end zone. This is how you're hanging over the ledge of the swimming pool that you just put in, because you've been tailgating since sunrise. It's a 1:00 kickoff. It's now 3 p.m. You're sunburnt so bad you keep having to drink more. You're also not really sure where the rest of your crew went. You don't remember where you put your wallet, so your ticket's gone. You haven't been to a game in a couple seasons. You're in it for the ride. Wore out and weary, and yeah, your Jags might be in a blowout scenario that would kind of represent most of their games over the past 9 years or so. But yeah, maybe they stick around town. Maybe they fight it out. They picked up some winners. Unfortunately, by the time their winners hit Duval, they don't do well. I would love to do a deep dive into all of the number 1 picks.
Let's talk about Jalen Ramsey first.
Like, I remember it like started around probably 2003 or so, 2004. There was a USC Trojan, Southern California USC wide receiver that like got arrested, DUI. It was top, pick overall, something wild. And then just like from there on, nothing could materialize.
I just want to say real quick, it was only 4 seasons ago that they were in the AFC Championship, which is literally the top 4 of the league. I just want to say, like, they literally didn't make the playoffs from 2008 to 2016. They were 3rd or 4th in their division every single year. And then in 2017, finally put it all together, got to the AFC Championship game, which is literally the top 4 in the league. And then about that. 2 seasons later, went 1-15.
Yeah. But going back to early aughts, that was also, again, every year they'd have to see Peyton Manning twice. And this was like their best chance teams. Every year they'd have to see Peyton Manning twice, and then Tom Brady and Bill Belichick at least once, and that at least once would happen in goddamn Foxborough at the final game before every season. That would be that's their mountain to climb. And so they, even at their best, when I feel like they were actually top team with Fred Taylor and Maurice Jones-Drew that would just punish fucking defenses. It was so fun to watch. They had their best opportunity at that time, but still the odds were stacked against them. But I do forget about, was it 2016 you said? That
2017.
2017.
They made it to the AFC Championship and lost not that bad. Lost to Tom Brady and the New England Patriots
every
by 4
time.
points.
If it's not Tom Brady, it's Peyton Manning. And a lot of times those teams were getting the best of Peyton Manning, but that's a tough game.
Never played Peyton Manning in the playoffs, I don't think.
Because it's
all the time.
It's divisional.
So since the year 2000, the Jaguars have made the playoffs 3 times. So that's 3 playoff berths in 22 seasons. At the origination of the franchise, they actually were quite successful. But the past 2 decades plus have been abject horror for anyone in Jacksonville who roots for them. But that being said, like I said, I was talking about the international listeners. You should really get into the Jaguars because the amount of entertainment that Ryan will provide you on a week-to-week basis during the season is going to be worth it. Don't follow any other team.
It's unfiltered info coming straight from the team itself is all I'm reproducing. And yes, that makes me think Jaguars' newest home, maybe Liverpool, maybe South London, somewhere there for our Lyman.
I don't know what they're
British followers,
waiting for.
But London has been the preseason opener home of the Jaguars straight across the pond. Honestly, the Jaguar teal aesthetic goes in well to some UK fashion scenes. It makes the adoption so much easier. Like a tropical exotic cat that fits in well into the Grey Isle. Wrapping up the show, looking forward, it's Mother's Day coming up, right?
Ooh, props to moms. Without moms, without pregnant people, where would we be?
Yeah, shout out to moms everywhere.
We wouldn't be here. I don't think you can. I think moms is not a word we can use anymore. I think we have to say people, parent people.
Okay.
Mother's Day and Father's Day is going the way of the dodo. It's going to be Parents' Day.
At the time we're recording this, the calendar says Mother's Day, and gosh darn it, I'm going to say Mother's Day.
But Mother's that's going to be a hate crime.
The Mother's Day is coming up. And
when people are listening to our archives in 10 years, they're going to hear this and they're going to report us to the cancel police. And they're going to execute us.
You think there's going to be archives in 10 years? Highly doubtful. At the time that we're recording this, we're looking at a weekend coming up ahead of us of Mother's Day. And we just want to say thank you to all those mommies out there. And we want to say you're respected. And without you, we can't do what we do. We can't put the mic to the hard drive, to the stream, to the upload, to the social, and you make it all possible. Shout out to you. Maybe you're listening to this on Mother's Day. Maybe this gets out in time. And we want to say thank you for all that you do. And thank you for all the moms out there listening to us today. We know that there's a lot of you. And maybe
it's going to have to be a quick turnaround, Ryan, if you want to get this out by Mother's Day. We're gonna have to speed up the schedule here. We want to get this tribute out to mommies. Maybe we clip this.
Maybe not as much mothers as there would have been a generation ago, because it's just more expensive to have a child.
Which is why there's 3 people working at Checkers at 10
Yeah.
at night.
Yeah. And if you're not having a kid, if you're not into being a mom, maybe you're a fur mom, maybe you're a dog mom, a cat mom, shout out to you as well. You are equally as deserving as of the holiday. So this one's for
You're all queens.
You're-
You're all queens.
You're all very beautiful to me. This is for you, folks. All of you mothers out there. Goodbye, everybody.